Hello, I'm David Dodd, Chairman and CEO of GeoVax. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to provide an update on our GEO-MVA program and explain why we believe that this represents an important transformational point for the company. GEO-MVA is our vaccine candidate for protection against mpox and smallpox. It represents GeoVax's strategy to address a critical global preparedness need by providing an expanded source of MVA vaccine. Today isn't about announcing a single milestone. It's about highlighting how a series of scientific, manufacturing, regulatory, and operational achievements have positioned GEO-MVA to transform GeoVax into a company supplying a critically needed vaccine while providing significant value to our fellow shareholders. But before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone that today's discussion includes forward-looking statements. The best way to describe today's announcement is readiness and execution. Vaccine development is all about reducing uncertainty. We've focused on completing all the work that matters most before entering the clinical study. As a result, we believe that we have substantially de-risked the GEO-MVA program, positioning us for an expedited path towards regulatory registration and vaccine supply. That's the story we're sharing today. MVA is the most important vaccine available for protecting against both smallpox and mpox, safe for use in all patient populations. However, today there's a single supplier worldwide, believe it or not, a global monopoly, having limited, insufficient supply capability. Recent outbreaks have demonstrated how quickly global demand can exceed available supply. Now, this has to simply change. Throughout the world, procurement agencies continue investing heavily in preparedness because they recognize that maintaining reliable vaccine access is a national security issue as much as a public health issue. Now, our objectives are straightforward. We aim to become a core, reliable supplier of this well-known, safe vaccine, improving global supply resilience while supporting long-term global preparedness. GEO-MVA benefits from several important attributes. First, it is based on the same established MVA platform that has been successfully used for decades, recognized for being safe and effective for all patient populations. Second, European regulators have agreed that our development can proceed through an expedited clinical pathway, rather than requiring the traditional clinical phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 clinical trials. Third, we've invested considerable effort completing manufacturing and analytical work before beginning to proceed into the pivotal clinical study. Together with these factors, we believe we have a highly capital-efficient development strategy with significant reduced clinical, technical, and regulatory risk. Now, we recently completed a non-clinical immunogenicity study evaluating GEO-MVA alongside the licensed MVA vaccine. Although this represents a supportive animal study and not intended to be pivotal, we were encouraged by the results. For example, GEO-MVA generated robust virus-specific immune responses, providing additional confidence that our vaccine is not only biologically active, but meaningful also as we prepare to conduct the clinical study. GEO-MVA supply will be very different from a traditional commercial vaccine launch. Our primary customers are expected to be public health and national agencies responsible for preparedness and strategic stockpiles. These organizations typically purchase vaccines through very significant procurement contracts. Now, that creates a commercial model driven by manufacturing readiness and long-term procurement relationships, rather than traditional pharmaceutical marketing. We believe this represents a significant opportunity as public health agencies and nations continue strengthening biosecurity and response preparedness around the world. Our focus is now execution. We plan to initiate the pivotal clinical study yet this year, aligned with the regulatory guidance we've received. Because this study directly compares GEO-MVA with the licensed MVA vaccine based upon established endpoints, it provides an efficient, expedited pathway for clinical validation. Assuming enrollment proceeds as planned, we anticipate reporting the clinical data readout by mid-year 2027. Now, successfully achieving these milestones will support ongoing regulatory interactions while advancing GEO-MVA towards potential procurement opportunities. Now, I'd like to close with one final thought. Preparedness isn't built during an outbreak. It's built long before an outbreak occurs. We believe the progress we've achieved has significantly reduced program risk and positioned us to execute on addressing a critically important medical need. Keep in mind, our team remains focused on disciplined execution, advancing GEO-MVA toward clinical validation, and ultimately providing a critically needed additional source of MVA vaccine, produced domestically to strengthen global preparedness and outbreak response. Thank you for your continued interest in GeoVax. I look forward to updating you on our progress in the coming weeks and months ahead.